running a lot, right? He's getting tired. He's not used to this type of fight, right? You're doing the right job. He's doing yes. Boxing.
Well, you can hear Frank Warren in the background there as well. He's come round to the corner. Box him, he shouts it cleverly.
Listen, there's no need to have a tear up, okay? You've got to box him and keep it long, but box him at a good pace, okay? Keep it long. Look, the only time he's hitting you is when he's swinging with you. So you've got to step in with a jab, throw the right hand, keep it long, okay? Come on.
Why are you doing it?
We've been saying it round after round, haven't we, Cass? And Dean Powell's there saying it in the corner as well.
Yeah, I mean, Cleverly is a, he's a young boxer, and he's learning on his own terms here, and perhaps sometimes that's the best way to learn.
Cleverly has it in him to win this fight. I would have thought relatively easily if he just sticks to his boxing. Every time he gets drawn into a terror, it's a great fight to watch. The fans will love it. And Cleverly making things hard for himself here. He's probably won all 5 of these rounds, but Morat is still dangerous. He's still there. Yeah, Sky give Cleverly 4 and Morat 1.
Would they give the last round to Morat?
The 4th to Morat.
4th, I mean.
It's probably about right.
Yeah.
We thought that was a debatable round. Here's Cleverly with Morat trapped on the ropes. Good shot, the crowd like it. The crowd can sense that Morat was beginning to feel some of these. Cleverly goes after him again though.
A shark smelling blood, I mean.
He is a good finisher. Nathan Cleverly. He's holding around the back of the head.
Yeah, ref won't have any of those antics.
And Morat's corner not happy about that. I'm not surprised. No complaint from him, but Cleverly senses he may just have got the German hurt here. Trapped on the ropes now, Morat. Cleverly's like a steam train. Keeps on coming. Now a body shot. Morat's still dangerous though. A real battle of wills here.
And back comes Morat. Still dangerous. Still dangerous here, and the longer this fight goes on. There's a nice left hand to the throat by Morat, followed by another left, and you see Cleverly shaking his head saying, that didn't hurt me.
Oh, sorry, he got pinged by 2 left hands, then dropped his right and shook his head at him. Pushes him backwards here. Cleverly wins the little physical battle of strength in the middle of this 6th round. Now he scores with a left hand. Still has to be careful though. He's been told to box him. Well, he boxes for a minute of each round, then it's brawl time. 50 seconds left of this 6th. The fight's beginning to get better with each passing round. Oh, good shot from Morat, right hand, back comes Cleverly. This is when all the hours on the road, all the hours of sparring, all the fitness work begins to pay off. The crowd get behind him, but Morat catches Cleverly with 2 body shots.
The crowd is going absolutely bananas here tonight, Ian. I mean, you just feel the vibration through our legs here at ringside. They are really trying to push their Welshman through to a victory here before the 12th round.
Cleverly suddenly beginning to look a little bit tired. He was hurt by some of those body shots from Morat. Now he takes a left hand and is forced backwards. It's Morat who's finishing this round strongly. Cleverly will be glad to hear the bell.
A war of attrition here halfway through the bout here at the end of the 6th round, and although Cleverly's certainly up on the scorecards, you almost wonder if Morat's just as much in this fight as Cleverly is.
Well, I just wonder in that 6th round, Cass, whether Morat began to turn things around. He finished it so strongly. It was Cleverly who was on top at the start. Bit of a slap there with the left. But it was Morat in the dying seconds. I think he hurt Cleverly with 2 or 3 body shots.
You know, what they say, when the tongue comes out in defiance like that, it usually means they got hurt.
These big fights keep on coming. Here's Kell Brook up next against Michael Jennings in an eliminator for the WBO welterweight title. This one, though, is very, very good. Nathan Cleverly against Kaoru Morat. It's an eliminator for the WBO light heavyweight title. It's good enough to be a world title fight on its own.
Sure is. I mean, this is really something that's starting to shape up, and I mean, you almost wonder if it's even going to make it to 12 rounds.
Well, it will be a miracle if it does. This fight just over halfway now. We've had the first 6 rounds. Cleverly's got a paper lead. As Cass said, though, there's seemed to be too much between these boxers because both of them look very, very tired. Both have thrown a lot of leather. Both have had some success.
It almost seems as if Cleverly's exhaustion comes from throwing so many punches, whereas Morat's exhaustion comes from getting hit by so many punches. However, Morat seems just as stable. He's got a thick structure, if you will, from his legs up to his shoulders. He's just a beefy sort of light heavyweight and tough to move.
Well, he looks made to take punches, doesn't he?
He sure does.
He takes a good jab there from Cleverly. But Cleverly tends to dominate. It's like the first half of the round where he boxes and he just gets a little bit tired and Morat comes into his own.
You know, if ever there was a good time for Cleverly to start listening to his corner, it's now. At the second half of the fight, he realized he wasn't able to put Morat out early. He needs to start working long behind the jab and box.
Almost as if he can hear the words coming from ringside on our commentary. He does just that. It's funny, this is probably maybe the quietest round of the fight for Cleverly. In many ways, one of his betters. He's calming himself down a little, just beginning to box. He has all the assets to make this fight easy. He's got the reach advantage, he's got that pumping jab. A really good offensive weapon from Cleverly. It's not just a scene setter.
It's kind of interesting, right? He could actually avoid almost all semblance of danger just by staying on the outside.
Absolutely.
Can make it much easier for himself. He seems to want to...
He has the hand speed as well, doesn't he? It's not as if Murat's quicker.
No, I mean, you know, that's what's probably enraging his corner so much, is obviously they're looking out for the safety of their fighter, but here comes Cleverly.
If he scents blood, Nathan Cleverly, he really goes in for the kill. He's standing in the pocket again as he had Morat hurt, but back comes Morat to finish the round strongly as he did in the 6th. How Cleverly makes him miss. Stands in front of him. Just caught with the left hand because he's right by his waist.
Yeah, it's really dangerous territory right there, Cleverly. He stands in close. If he's going to stand in that close, he's going to have to keep his hands up, because if he drops him, it's where he's going to get caught one of those chopping overhands by Morat, and boy, that could end ugly if he's not careful.
Well, Cleverly raises his hand as he goes back to his corner. I think another round for him.
Yeah, and it's safe to say that, you know, Cleverly's eking out these rounds on points, but I mean, you know, there's 2 ways to score a round, if not more. One of them is just by being the more effective boxer. The other is by landing the more solid blows, and it seems like while Cleverly's landing more punches, on occasion Morat lands the heavier punches.
Seeing Morat in his corner here. To be fair, he looks exhausted, but I think the same can be said for Nathan Cleverly. It's been a fantastic fight, hasn't it? Fought at a very high pace.
Absolutely. I mean, it really hasn't stopped the action from round 1 through round 7. I mean, they're throwing just as many punches now as they did earlier on, and they don't really, yeah, I mean, 7, 8, 9, you know, we may see a little slowdown here. Both boxers, as you said, starting to feel the fatigue. It is 12 rounds. They're going to have to conserve some of that energy just in case.
Well, there's that Nathan Cleverly jab. Right down the middle. As we said, it's a good weapon. It's not just a feeler. He'll hurt you if he catches you with it. He just needs to pump it out as he does here at the start of the 8th. Morat's so ponderous and short and stocky. He's got no real answer to the jab. But when he gets on the inside, that's where he's dangerous. Cleverly has been 12 rounds before, so the distance shouldn't be a massive problem for him. This fight has been fought at a high pace. Morat experienced as well. He's had championship fights too. Intercontinental titles. He's certainly being outboxed at the moment. Little cut on his nose as well.
Yeah, that's not good. I mean, it looks like some of these Cleverly punches are really starting to take their toll on Morat. See the blood starting to show on his shorts as well.
Well, now Cleverly catches it. He might just begin to open up this cut. It's not in a great place for Morat.
No, it's not, and this would actually be a great time for Cleverly to just keep pumping that jab right down the pipeline.
I was just about to make the same point, because if he lands that jab, it's going to be right on the nose. Again, he fights Murat's fight, though, and gets caught with the left hand on the inside, just in front of us here at ringside. As Murat's trapped on the ropes. Now he punches after the break. It was more a tickle, wasn't it? It wasn't a massive blow, as Cleverly has a quick word with promoter Frank Warren. You always tell when it's not going quite according to plan, when Mr. Warren jumps up and has his say. He's had his say more than once this evening with Nathan Cleverly.
Murat's corner is going to have their hands full in between rounds here. They're going to want to close that nose. It can only get worse.
They've been working hard on the ear as well, the right ear of Morat. That was early on in the fight. I think there was a cut there.
It's almost as if Murat's head is a piñata bowl and Cleverly's hands are the stick that just keep whacking him, and more candy keeps coming out.
He's certainly earned his money tonight, hasn't he, Morat? One tough son of a gun. Oh, good shot though from Cleverly. Right hand again, he senses that he has Morat hurt here. Oh. Good uppercut from Cleverly. Morat really felt that. Covers up now. He's feeling these punches. Back he comes though. What heart from the German. Now two body shots from Cleverly. Uppercut two. Back comes Morat though with the left hand. We're just saying how tough he is. Really isn't giving an inch here. Refuses to budge.
Cleverly with both hands on his knees. Not a good sign for a boxer in a prize fight as this, but...
Well, Morat cuts a forlorn figure as he goes back to the corner, blood streaming from that cut on the nose. He's certainly given Cleverly a tough fight this evening. Just sense that Cleverly's edging ahead here.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like the tide's really starting to turn. It has been a war of attrition through 8 rounds, but Cleverly just seems to be the more effective puncher. If he would just stick to that jab, he would probably stop this fight early. I mean, I don't know how much longer that nose is going to hold out. He's busted it open pretty bad there in the last round.
Just watching some of Cleverly's best shots from that 8th round. I would have thought he's ahead by a country mile on the judges' scorecards.
Yeah, not really looking worse for wear, Cleverly. He's certainly been in a brutal battle here, but he seems to look okay as we begin the 9th round.
Great learning fight for this this one for Nathan Cleverly. And he starts the 9th round very well.
Even spitting some blood out is Cleverly's.
Oh, good shot.
Big right hand by Cleverly.
Great shot, an ooh from the crowd. Maybe they can sense that Cleverly's on the verge of getting Morat out of there. Whereas the German's just beginning to show a few cracks around the edges.
I mean, Cleverly's got such a great right hand, whether it be that overhand right or the uppercut. If he would just set it up with the jab, it seems like it would be almost impossible for Morat to stop.
Well, believe it or not, Cleverly started out, I think, as a welterweight when he first turned pro. You can see that he has that speed from the lower divisions. A very tall, lanky boxer.
It doesn't look like he put on much weight. I think he just grew a little bit in height. That's about it. He's still very much a welterweight frame.
Really being given a tough examination this evening. A man who's shown tremendous heart. Cleverly catches him from long range there. I wonder if finally the message has began to get through from the corner.
He could also catch up some of that, catch up some breath if he could just stay on that jab. I mean, it's not going to take too much energy out of him to just pop it out there, and both as an offensive and defensive measure.
Morat looks quite grateful for the breather as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, he sure does. I mean, it's been a rough go here through round 9, and you know, I'm sure he's going to appreciate when the final bell round rings, however it ends up. This has been a real barn burner, and it's taken a lot of abuse here by the hands of Nathan Cleverly.
You just get the impression, the gum shield's out.
And that looked more like it was out voluntarily. I don't know, it certainly wasn't a punch that knocked that out. And you hear it from the crowd also.
I think he's just bought himself a few seconds there, Karo Morat.
I wouldn't be surprised if the referee doesn't give him a warning if we see that. That's the second time it's come out, and the first maybe not as blatant, but clearly
well, the first was certainly from a punch. I think you're right, if it happens again, great left hand there from Cleverly. Sends the blood flying from Murat's mouth. I think you're right, Cass, if the gum shield comes out one more time, you might see a point off. Referee just having a look there at Karo Morat.
Referee doing a good job, right? Letting them box here. This has been a very entertaining bout.
It was just as they came out of that clinch, he just had a longer look than perhaps was totally necessary. Back comes Morat, though, as we enter the final stages of this 9th round. A good one for Cleverly.
Yeah. Morat looking certainly forlorn as he makes his way into the corner.
It looks as if Cleverly's broken his heart, doesn't it, Cass?
It sure has. Ian, what can Morat's corner tell him now to turn the tide? There's 3 rounds left. He's certainly down on points. He's going to need a knockout to win this. How does he do it?
I suppose his only hope is if he can tempt Cleverly in close, as he did in the opening 6 rounds. But it looks as if Cleverly's beginning to learn, and Murat's not quite got the heart or the stamina to do that anymore. Yeah,
I mean, you know, as is often the case with a boxer with shorter arms, he's got to figure out a way to get inside. I mean, he's had a willing dance partner in Cleverly so far, because Cleverly was more than happy to do so. However, as you pointed out, as Cleverly starts to box behind that jab, it's going to be harder and harder for Morat to take advantage.
Well, the ringside doctor was overlooking at Morat between the rounds. Oh, the referee stops it. The referee has stopped it, and Nathan Cleverly has broken Karo Murat's heart. Morat can't quite believe it.
You almost got to wonder, Ian, was that would that be looked at as a controversial stoppage? I mean,
well, Morat looks very, very unhappy. It was on the cards, though, wasn't it, Cass?
I mean, you know, perhaps this is the way the bout was going. We just got finished saying that Morat was going to have a tough time turning the tide, but that doesn't mean that the referee ought to have stopped it. And Sauerland now in the ring.
Well, he's not very happy at all. But I imagine that Morat was a long, long way behind on the cards. And Cleverly was beginning to run away with the fight, beginning to really impose himself. And Morat, he did cut a very tired figure when he went back to the corner.
Yeah, he sure did. You know, it's interesting because although he showed some signs of protest, he doesn't look like a man who is completely upset about the stoppage. I mean, maybe he feels it wasn't necessary, but at the same time, he seems to be relieved that it's over.
There's a sort of a resigned shrug of the shoulders, isn't it? And you know, maybe that was wrong, but maybe the referee's done me a favour here, and I'll kind of keep quiet.
Yeah, why not? And it's interesting to see the 2 promoters in there, you know, watching as their charges. And it looks like Sauerland is still disputing this, not happy.
So who is happy? Promoter Frank Warren, the man who looks after Nathan Cleverly. I imagine he had a few worried moments there during that fight.
Yeah, I mean, you know, just like all of us at ringside, as well as Cleverly's corner, I mean, he clearly wasn't sticking to what was surely the game plan, which was to box behind the jab, and that's going to give anyone a pause for concern. But Cleverly pulled it out at the end. He really showed some verve in there, and, you know, he got what he deserved.
Well, off camera, Sauerland is still complaining bitterly. He's arguing now with Charlie Giles, who's from the Board of Control in charge here this evening, and now he's arguing with Frank Warren.
Somebody's had to go, and tonight it was Morat, and there goes the perfect winning streak.
At the start of round 10, your referee has stopped the fight on the advice of the doctor. The winner, who now gets a shot for the WBO World Light Heavyweight Championship from the Kevin Forest in Wales, in the blue corner, Nathan Cleverly.
So a great win for Nathan Cleverly. Just confirmation there. The stoppage was on the advice of the doctor.
A round of applause for the gallant Karo Morat.
He'd obviously thought that Karo Morat had taken too much punishment. It wasn't the referee's decision initially then to stop the fight. It doesn't really matter though, because Nathan Cleverly has won. He's lined himself up a world title shot, and he's an exciting fighter, isn't he, Kaz?
He sure is. I mean, he's a young kid. He's real likable. He's got his college education behind him now. And, I mean, the world is at his feet. Nathan Cleverly really has a wonderful career ahead of him, and he's just getting started.
And a very exciting division to be in as well. Jean
yeah.
Pascal, Chad Dawson, Bernard Hopkins still around as well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is really, you know, there's going to be perhaps a passing of the torch. It didn't happen here tonight, but there's a couple of guys there. You just mentioned Hopkins, Dawson. I mean, there's going to be an exciting couple of bouts coming up over the next few years.
So big things ahead for Nathan Cleverly. He went to war this evening with Kauro Murat. He was on top in the fight. He was given a few tough moments. Eventually he came through to win. The fight stopped just before the start of the 10th round, and it's Nathan Cleverly who moves on to that world title opportunity.